Thank you guys for having me again. It was great. We had a really great crowd. I thank so much Fred Profiter and Seth Eisenberg for helping put this together. I also want to give a shout out to Levi Trumbull. That's LeviTrumbell. He filmed the whole entire rally. It's on his YouTube channel, so please like and subscribe to his YouTube channel. But it was great. We had 15 speakers from all over the state, and each one of them gave a very powerful message saying we need to stand with Israel and support Israel, and this is the right thing to do.
What do you have coming up?
So tomorrow we are having a sign waving for Israel at the corners of Merritt Boulevard and Wise Avenue across from the Boulevard Diner from 12 to 3. We are going to have some elected officials there. For example, Tim Fazenbaker will be there. He supports Israel and the right to defend themselves. State Delegate Bob Long, he fully supports what I'm doing and stands with Israel. And former candidate for Baltimore County Executive Kimberly Stansberry will be there. She's very involved with the Jewish community and has been to many pro-Israel rallies already. So it's great that everybody is coming out in support for Israel. Again, we need to have more of these pro-Israel rallies and these pro-Israel events, and it's the right thing to do at this time.
Alexandra, I don't know if you saw it or not, Charlie Kirk posted yesterday some of his fellow Christians that were escorting Jewish protesters to try to keep them safe. Those people were attacked by some radical pro-Hamas types. Did you see any of that? Were any counter-protesters in Frederick? Are you concerned about that component at all?
I didn't see the thing with Charlie Kirk, but I have not. At our rally, for example, in Frederick, we did not have counter-protesters at all. We were very fortunate. And where we're going to be in Dundalk, I have had many sign wavings there, many different events. We've never had counter-protesters. It's a very safe area. We've been very safe. We do have local police on our side, which is great, to come monitor the area. But I personally haven't seen it. And we say in Hebrew, Baruch Hashem, praise be to God. Thank God we haven't seen it, and hopefully we won't see it.
What do you think should happen to these students on these college campuses and universities? And I understand they have a right to be pro-Palestinian, but some of them that are actually supporting and embracing Hamas. There's a new survey out by Harvard Harris saying that 48% of 18 to 24-year-olds are agreeing with Hamas, not the Palestinians, but Hamas.
I know, and it's very, very scary. And a lot of my Jewish friends that we've talked about, what can we do? One of the things is make sure you don't send your children there. And it's really sad because these are some great institutions, some of the best universities in the nation, and we don't want to send our children there because we're afraid. A lot of it has to do with education. I've talked about bringing Holocaust survivors to these schools. I've talked about taking the kids to a Holocaust museum near them. We have one in Washington, D.C. It's very graphic details of the Holocaust. It's actually real-life footage of the Holocaust. It's all about education. And the problem is that we have social media like Facebook and Twitter. They're allowing the propaganda to continue. They are not stopping the propaganda. They're suppressing people like myself that put up pro-Israel stuff and actually tell you in real time what's going on in Israel, what happened in Israel. But they're allowing the pro-Hamas rallies to take precedence and actually control the narrative, which is very scary.
Well, Alexandria, there is a legal obligation colleges and universities have to make sure that their students are there to study in a safe environment. And there are so many college administrators now who seem to lack the guts to say to those individuals who are doing things like forcing Jewish students to be locked up inside Cooper Union's library, which happened just the other day, that they're not doing their job. Isn't there legal recourse for these students?
I'm not an attorney, so I can't comment on that. But yeah, if I was a parent, I would sue the school for what they're doing. I would demand that the dean of the school or the heads of the school be removed, and that they find new deans and new administration in there, to protect the students. I'm a graduate of NYU, and I saw the anti-Semitism starting while I was there, and now it's about 5 times worse.
No.
It's very scary that as a Jewish student, you can't walk on campus for fear that you're going to get attacked. You can't wear a kippah. You can't wear a Jewish star for fear you're going to be attacked. Jewish students should not be scared to go to school. They shouldn't be locked in a library for hours wondering if they're going to live or die. That is not what that's not what going to a university is about. We don't live in this type of country where we shouldn't have to worry about that. We don't live in a third world country, and this needs to stop. This really needs to stop.
You know, there's a historical antecedent to this, of course. If you go back and read the history of Germany in the late 1930s, there were places where someone marked "No Jews Allowed," and that seems to be the goal of those individuals who are doing their very best to make sure that there are no Jews allowed in a number of places here in this country.
Well, I recently just saw that in Turkey. You know, there's a sign in Turkey, "No Jews Allowed."
Right. Yep.
And that's scary too. That is very scary. And yes, I do see that here in the United States. It's very scary. Those institutions should, people, I don't like to call for the boycott of the institutions, but, it's not, we shouldn't have that. We shouldn't again be in fear of eating somewhere or going somewhere for fear that we're going to be attacked. And anybody who puts, Jews are not allowed, they're on the side of evil.
Yep, absolutely. We have to run. I'll come on a break here. Alexandra Levine, thanks again. That rally, Stand With Israel, is tomorrow in Dundalk. Thanks for calling in. We appreciate it. Time for news headlines. Here's Bruce.
Thanks, Sean. Representative John Sarbanes' colleagues in the Maryland congressional delegation are thanking